Derek Carr is a New Orleans Saint. How do we feel about that, guys? Like, does that move the needle for you? Does that like change your opinion? Are we hyped? Are we like what? How do you guys feel about Derek Carr and being a Saint?
I definitely believe he'll play good. They don't have to worry about quarterback, but he's not gonna put on MVP stats or anything. But um, I think it's a good fit.
What do you
The
think,
better
Brendan?
quarterback they had in a while, but I
Yeah.
don't think it's gonna catapult them to like this team. They still have some issues and needs and whatnot.
Well, week 1, I have them beating the Titans. Week 2, I have them losing to the Panthers. But week 3, beating the Packers. Week 4, losing to the Bucks. Week 5, losing to the Patriots. Week 6, though, beating the Texans. But then a bunch of losses straight. They're going to lose to the Jags, lose to the Colts, lose to the Bears, and lose to the Vikings. But Derek Carr, he's just gonna lock in, or somebody's gonna lock in. Whoever ends up being the quarterback at this point, they're gonna beat the Falcons, beat the Lions, lose to the Panthers, but then finish the season undefeated, beating the Giants, beating the Rams, beating the Bucks, and beating the Falcons for an overall record of 9-8, and that is good enough to win the NFC South. I believe the Saints have the division. I believe Derek Carr is good enough, and I believe at that Week 12 point, just like based on my record, it's not a lot of good teams they got to beat with the division being wide open, and they have Derek Carr versus having Desmond Ridder versus having a rookie Bryce Young versus having maybe Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask. Like Derek Carr, he's been able to do well in the AFC West. Like I think he'll be able to get this one. And they have Michael Thomas, they have Olave, they have Kamara still. You know, they got some weapons, so I think there'll be a. What do you think, Jimmy?
So I believe week 1 I have them beating the Titans. Week 2, beating the Panthers, beating the Packers, and beating the Bucks for record 4-0. Not too bad.
Hey,
But they are gonna lose to the Patriots. They're gonna come back from that and beat the Texans, but lose to the Jags, beat the Colts, beat the Bears, lose to the Vikings, and head into the bye. Coming out of the bye, they are gonna lose to the Falcons, lose to the Lions, but beat the Panthers, lose to the Giants, lose to the Rams, lose to the Bucks, but ending the season on a dub against the Falcons for a record of 9-8 and number 1 in their division.
hey, look at that, twinsies. I think they got a solid roster, man. What are you
They
thinking,
do.
man?
What I'm thinking is they're going to beat the Titans week 1, but then lose to the Panthers week 2, lose to the Packers week 3, and then beat the Buccaneers week 4, but then they're gonna lose to New England, but then beat the Texans, but then lose to the Jaguars, then beat the Colts, beat the Bears, then lose to the Vikings off the bye week, lose to the Falcons, but then beat the Lions, beat the Panthers, but then kind of lose to the Giants, lose to the Rams, and lose to the Bucks, kind of falling off towards the end here. But they get one more win against the Falcons, week 18. I have them finishing 8-9, but third place in the NFC South.
Hey. Oh, so that means I know what other team you're high on based on these. That's interesting. It's definitely wide open, that whole division. It's definitely the wild west. It should be the NFC West this year because it's wild. But for it being wild, it's like wild because it's a lot of mid. You know, if you get one solid team, you get one solid roster over there, you're perennial contenders at this point in life. So someone's got to do it. We'll see. We'll see if it's the Saints or if it's another team for that NFC South. But it is definitely open for business.
Steven has the Saints losing week 1 to the Titans, losing week 2 to the Panthers, losing week 3 to the Packers, losing to the Bucks, losing to the Patriots. Very unfortunate start to the season, 0-5, but then they finally grab a win against the Texans. And then they grab another win against the Jaguars, but then they lose again to the Colts, but then they beat the Bears, but then they lose to the Vikings off the bye week, lose to the Falcons. But then do a little better at the second half here. They beat the Lions, beat the Panthers, beat the Giants, beat the Rams, lose to the Buccaneers, but they beat the Falcons. They still ended up scavenging a 8-9 record. So not that bad. It was a rough start, but they brought it back towards the end. Yeah, 8-9. Second place in the NFC South.
But anyways, I think that is going to do it for us for this video. If you enjoyed this and want to see more, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, ring the bell for notifications. But this has been Isaiah, that has been Jimmy, that has been Brenden, and we will see you in the next video. Peace out.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning.